Okay. I should be live now. Yep, we're live. Cool. Okay. Welcome everyone. Doing something a little bit different today. We're gonna actually be doing a PC build, which I've never done on my channel, and quite frankly, I haven't streamed in general in a while. Yeah, I want to get back into streaming. It was a little bit of a digital therapy, so to speak, and it was a really calming thing for a while. But there's only so much time in the day, so I'll try to dedicate more time to this. And what is my bitrate rate? Hey, what's wrong with my bitrate? Twitch is giving me bitrate issues. Hey, but right now I'm at 6K. What is Twitch? Nah, 6,000 should be fine. Why is it giving me red? Is it dropping? It doesn't appear to be. Yeah, my bitrate seems fine. Okay. Weird. Anyways. Where's my chat? How do I add my chat? There we go. Hey, babe! My lovely girlfriend, as she sits behind me supporting my endeavors, as always. Does the stream seem laggy at all? Okay, I'm getting red bitrate from Twitch, but my bitrate's at a consistent 6K, which is what you need for 1080, so I should be fine. But anyways, let's get into this. Oh, you can see my cat behind me. Anyways, PC parts. You got a lot. Got a Kraken 240 AIO. RTX 3090 that I wish I could afford for myself. What else we got? This is a 4,000 or 4 terabyte HDD spinning platter drive. For those of you who are familiar, got a 7800X 3D, like the title says. What else? Ooh. 2 terabyte NVMe P3 Plus PCIe 4.0. Good. Because we are popping into a heavy X870 Elite Wi-Fi 7 Ice. White motherboard. This thing is huge and heavy, and quite frankly, I don't know why. Well, we're gonna find out, but it seems like it has a lot of heatsink, and that's the reason. Let's put that down. Covering part of my webcam. Leave this one in the box for now, but you got a Corsair RM850x and 128 gigs of Vengeance RGB DDR5. Alright, so that's everything. Put that down. It'll all be going into a white Corsair 4000D airflow. Alright, you guys, I got enough synopsis. Let's get to the actual building part. Alright. This. Don't need a hard drive right now. Don't need a GPU right this second. The AIO I don't need until we get to the case. Alright. Firstly, let me tilt this over shoulder cam. There we go. And we can switch over to our overhead. Start off with the motherboard. Honest with you, I'll be chatting a little bit, but I'll mostly be focusing on the PC aspects of it because my life hasn't really been all that eventful. But I have been doing a shit ton to my car, which is always fun. But let's crack open this big bitch. Okay. Alright, you get a nice pretty white motherboard, anti-static box, Wi-Fi antenna, magnetic as well. Leave that on the case. Ooh, SATA cable, we need that. And it comes in white, that's cute. And what else might we need? Okay, these are standoff, or like pads to put for an NVMe SSD. I don't think we'll need those, but I'll pull them out just in case. And oh, well, that's mighty nice of them. They give us a pad for your NVMe SSD and their Gigabyte G connector, which is basically, for those of you who know about front panel connectors, it basically turns them into one block. I think Asus was the first one to try that, since most motherboards these days follow, most motherboards and cases these days follow pretty much a standardized layout, at least perspectives to manufacturers, so they just started doing one block for people that don't want to deal with the individual little wires. But that's good. Let me turn on, let's move some things down. Oh, let's remove this. Cool. Let's see. It's been a while. It's been so long since I've streamed. I don't even have everything functioning, as you guys can tell. Okay. Don't need two of these. Remove. Ah. Let us continue. Now, if you've never built a PC before and it seems daunting, you literally just need a Phillips head screwdriver, which I will get right now. All you're ever gonna need. Phillips number 2, sometimes Phillips number 1. That's about it. Now we can get to the real meat and potatoes. Okay, so far I'm not dropping any frames, but my streaming bandwidth is dropping below 6K, which is interesting. But right now Twitch is saying I'm steady, so we're gonna start off with the motherboard and the processor. I wonder why I look so pixelated. If I do a custom res, can I switch this to like 1280 by 720? Will that help? No, that did nothing. Okay, we'll just do device default and call it a day. Okay. Sorry, folks, but I'll try to have the best quality I can, but that camera really is not happy with me. Things looking all like blurry and stuff. My over shoulder looks great, but it's not really appropriate for this, but it is what it is. My overhead is a Sony A7 II, so if anyone wants to help me with that, that would be lovely, because I don't know how to make the output resolution any higher. Gonna get our Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. Go focus. Yeah, there you go. Now, obviously, for anyone who's ever built a PC before, you don't want to leave open pins like this in an LGA socket. Of course, I'm in a bit of a controlled office environment in my bedroom, so not too stressed about anything falling on it. Of course, you don't want to have too long of exposure, just for the sake of dust. You don't want anything coming between the contacts on the back of your processor and the pins on your motherboard. Of course, moving from AM4 to AM5, AMD switched over to this LGA format instead of the old PGA or pin grid array where you had the pins on the socket. But all works just about the same. Line the processor up, so you're gonna notice this little triangle right here lines up with the little triangle on the socket. Give it a little wiggle, make sure she's in there, and crank her down. Always keep this in the motherboard box. You gotta RMA your motherboard. They're gonna require you send this back just in case. Keep the pins safe on transport. Hopefully we have no such issues today. Now that we got that in, next easiest thing will be RAM. You got 128 gigs of this fucker. Oh yeah, this build isn't for me, it's for a friend of my brother's. You can call it a commission. My brother does tend to commission me for a lot of things, but it's more of a family friend kind of build. Alright, DDR5 RAM. Every RAM since, like, I believe the original DDR, I'll have the same basic principle of a notch, or in some cases 2 notches with, I believe, DDR2. You line that up with the notch here. Now remember, you can't just put this either which way. For those of you who haven't built a PC before, this only goes in one way. It's hard to tell, but one side is slightly shorter than the other. So a good rule of thumb, I can't say it always works, but it usually works. Label side to the CPU. So like this. Label face CPU. Let's test this theory out. Put it in before I apply any pressure. Gonna make sure that everything's lined up, which it is. And then all we need to do is press down, which I can show you on the old shoulder. Even pressure. Don't know if that was audible, but you're gonna hear 2 clicks. Again, don't know if that came in on the mic, but it's something to keep in mind. And since we have 4 RAM slots, we don't have to worry about orientation or position. And you rinse and repeat 3 other times. Now back to my life. Let's see. I last streamed roughly about a year ago, and within that year, I have... Wow, since my last stream, I used to have my Subaru. Wait, did I? No? No. Oh, yeah. Alright, no, I don't. Okay, never mind then. Alright, well, anyways. The Audi that I had most recently acquired on my last stream, now not most recently acquired, had it for a year and three months. Very pleasant car for those of you who are into Volkswagen Audis. It's an Audi A3 3.2, which is essentially an R32 in leather. Let's say the R32 didn't originally come in leather, but I guess an R32 in a suit and tie is probably a better distinction. Fun little car. But from 2006, so it does need a little bit of maintenance. It has in the past year. And I've taken the opportunity of maintenance to make upgrades. Most recent of which is going to be a big brake kit. Gonna be doing Porsche Macan front calipers. So 4-piston Brembo calipers. Along with the 310mm vented rotor rear caliper upgrade. Courtesy of a Mark 7 GTI Performance Pack. Now, that is a lot of gibberish to people who don't know cars. But basically, I'm putting big brakes. Because big brakes equals stop faster. Which isn't actually true, but I'm going to tell myself that to justify the purchases. Now, moving on, we have some SSDs to take care of. Now, I like the fact that Gigabyte decided to use this method with the twist ties. Now, if we switch back to my overhead, I can show you that. So essentially, instead of having screws, you just push these. And then this little pad, this little interface pad for the SSD. Now, this is a Gen 5 slot, and I am putting a Gen 4 M.2. We only have one M.2 in the system. If the client wants to get more in the future, we can swap these out very easily, as you can see. But essentially, when it comes down to this stuff, and anyone watching who's not a sub, you're gonna get an ad break, 54 seconds. And basically, the situation is that with M.2 SSDs, like I said, you want to basically use your fastest slot port, which in most cases is important, some cases isn't. Oh, my brother's texting me. What's up, brother? All right, work-related stuff, nothing important right now. Anyways, getting back to this, your fastest slot is usually the closest to the CPU, but always refer to your motherboard manual. In our case, it doesn't really matter because we're putting a Gen 4 SSD in a Gen 5 slot. I don't know how many of these slots are Gen 5, but principle being is that in this particular case, with this particular motherboard, I can put it in any other slots and it won't make a difference. But we're just going to use the top one since that's the most easily accessible. Shout out to Gigabyte for making that happen. Now, my real question is, okay, that does rest directly against that pad. I was wondering if we would need any of the spacer blocks, but we don't. Now that we have the NVMe in there, again, this is a Gigabyte exclusive kind of setup. This is going to slot into here, and then this side is just going to clip in with this little spring back. Real easy stuff. And there, that's an M.2 SSD. That is 2 terabytes in your computer, and anyone who's been building PCs for the last few years know how insane that is to just suddenly get 2 terabytes that quickly. Pre-roll ads are disabled for 32 minutes. I have an ad break in progress. Sorry about that, anyone who's not subbed. All right, so the motherboard is pretty much prepped. Now we can get onto the case. Depending on who you are, don't be sorry, they should sub. That's a good point. Sub if you have the cash, don't if you don't. But to be honest with you, I would love to do nothing more than quit my day job and do this. So if you sub, I'm thinking about maybe doing some car work streams, because I feel like people don't really do that, but that might be fucking boring, but I might do it anyways. Doing more gaming streams. I don't really have any keyboard builds at the moment. I've been kind of doing them in the background just for funsies, but you know, maybe I'll get back into that too. But either way, if you sub, I can do that, because right now I need to pay rent and anything that this fat cat might need. Now, let's get to that computer case. So I'm gonna set the motherboard aside. Gonna get over to the over shoulder. Ah! Nobody saw that. Are we good? I think we're good. Perfect. All right, we are good. So. Okay. So at this point, this is another kind of crossroads where you can sort of, you know, pick and choose where exactly you want to do things. I'm going to start off with the case, and then the power supply I usually tend to do last. Some people like to do the power supply first. If this is ever your first time building a PC, if you're watching on YouTube afterwards, or if you're watching on Twitch now, please do yourself a favor. Bench test your components. I trust that these work, and it's very rare that you get a DOA part, but it happens. So motherboard, power supply, plug it in, try to get a video signal before putting it in the case. I'm confident. Don't be like me. Do as I say, not as I do. Let's get to the rest. Probably the most annoying feature of case boxes, right? The handles on the side, great for carrying. When you actually need to pull the case out, they don't tell you. You gotta pull the handles out, otherwise the case will not slide out. Alright, now that's done. Alright. Hey! What's good, Norval? How are you doing? Yeah, we on demon timing. What's good, brother? Alright. Case in my hands. First thing you want to do? Plastic off. Bro, I've been good. I've really been good. I've been chilling, honestly. Yeah, it's felt. Literally just working my fucking day job and haven't really had time for much else besides the wife. Just been working on my car, treating my cat and my girlfriend nicely, and not much else. I do want to get back into the stream and shit, but yeah, how's life treating you? Get the side panel off. Alright, one off. Do you actually? If you do, congrats. I was gonna say, you... I mean, to be honest with you, motherfuckers from high school getting married and shit, like, I'd honestly fucking believe you. But yeah, you got my ass. I was like, there's no fucking shot, but shit, I gotta respect it. I was about to ask when the baby shower is. Oh, yeah. Brian and Jess. And, if you remember, what's damn, I feel bad right now. Natalie Puen? What was her last name? Why am I forgetting her last name? This girl's my best friend in high school. I've known her for like 8-9 years. Anyways, Columbia Natalie, everyone knew her from the soccer team. Yeah, she's been married for like a year or two. Yeah. Married to a gentleman she met in her church. I was real happy for her. I feel like a shitty friend not even remembering her name, but yeah. Yeah, we might be, Unc. It's been a minute. But yeah, it is nice. But yeah, we're all getting to that age to where it's like, it's not like, oh shit, you're having a kid. It's like, oh nice, you're having a kid. And that's fucking crazy. Alright. Side panels are off. I can get this bitch on the desk. Move my mic out the way. Why do you have 3 months of karma debt? Who did you do so dirty? Alright. Now, check with your case, but most modern computer cases, they're gonna come with your motherboard standoffs pre-installed. Center one usually is a post to hold your motherboard in place. And then you want to make sure that all 9, which I'll show you the other ones on the overhead. You want to make sure all 9 are in the right spots. Certain motherboards have different spots for their motherboards. So you see how there's 9 here. Just line that up. Yep, you got 3 along the bottom here. Yeah, want to make sure those are in the right spots, which in most cases they will be, but in some cases they're not. So you want to be careful with that. So let me grab the motherboard. Just gonna look at it here. Right. Got 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole. same lineup on the next, and the top is always going to be the same. Now, sometimes you'll get motherboards with the hole right here. That's what you want to look out for. In my case, we don't got to worry about that, and the case does not have provisions for that right this second. So we can just slot this in, gentle, and then put it on the mounting peg. It's hard to see the mounting peg with the SSD thing. There we go. All right, mounting peg in, motherboard in. Now, what is next? We can, well, firstly, I can actually one second. I have a fancy feature with this tripod in which I can lift this camera. That'll make it easier to see. Considering most of this is going to be done with the case now. God, I love fancy shit. And now just screw this down so it stays all hooked up. There we go. Now you guys can see that much easier. Cool. Alright. Now, get your Phillips head. Alright. Now that I have freed my headphone cable. Hey, Joey. Not much. Just got the motherboard in. Gonna put the screws in now. SSD's already installed and the RAM, as you can see, but I've only been live for like 27 minutes. Holy shit, there's 5 people in here. Thank you. I did not expect that. Crap, my brain's all over the place now. Let me get the motherboard screws, which are in the back of the case inside of the hard drive sled. But thanks to all 5 of you who've popped in. I very much appreciate that. Yeah, we're just going through a quick PC build, nothing crazy. If anyone wants to know the specs, we've got a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, a Gigabyte X, what is this, X870 now? Yeah, X870 Aorus Elite, RTX 3090. Really baller gaming PC. One I wish I could afford, but this ain't for me. Alright. Can't see what I'm doing, but I was just moving the drive sled to get this out. Little accessories box, comes with your case. We got some tie-down straps, and then we got the case screws. Holy shit. Okay, well, thank you, Joey. Much appreciated, much obliged for the 5 gifted subs. And anyone who just got gifted a sub, feel free to say thanks to him, not that you have to, but hey, I can't complain and I appreciate it. Now we can get on with the PC build. We've got motherboard screws. Again, refer to your case's manual. They're usually going to be the same size and thread pitch, but here they are. Switch over to overhead while we put these in. Alright. So I was referring to those 9 holes before. We're going to use 8 of them since one of them is just a standoff peg. And we're just going to go around the case. Now what I like to do is loosely put these in first. After they're loosely put in, I'll shimmy the motherboard a little bit, then fully tighten them all down. But initially, they're not really all going to be lined up. But yeah, thanks everyone who's tuned in so far. Gonna get this PC well underway. And we're pretty already far enough through as is. Just get my mic up. Make that easier. Cool. Let's continue on. Yeah, a little bit closer there. Cool. Alright. Now, I mean, part of this stream is not only to just talk my life away as I do on every stream, but also to try and, for those of you who don't do these kinds of things, see how kind of easy this is. Whether it's custom keyboards, car work that I'll hopefully be streaming and recording soon because I do have a car YouTube channel. I just haven't had time to edit videos. Or in this case, building a computer. Easy stuff to do with your hands. You don't necessarily have to trust it to someone else. You can become that professional that you pay money to. And that's pretty much what my life's all been about. I've been too broke to really afford people helping me, so had to make do myself. Give me one second, I need to get a magnet. Try and get that screw out that just fell. Alright. Magnet acquired. Ferris screw acquired. Now, move my mic further out of my way so I can see where I'm going here. Alright. Gonna use the magnet to start the thread engagement. Once that's done up, go there. Now, we have one last screw hole. Now, like I was saying when I first started these standoffs, right? You want to wiggle the motherboard a little bit. Make sure it's completely in space. Or in place. And then we can cinch these down. The autofocus on this camera is really messing with me. So we're going to move to the over shoulder. Same principle. You're just watching me put some screws in. Also, for those of you who don't have a quality ratcheting screwdriver, this Super Pro model, or Mega Pro, sorry, out of Canada, great thing. It's what the LT2 screwdriver is based on, though they do have a custom shaft and ratcheting mechanism for less back drag. But the Mega Pro is half the price, so make sure all, in this case, 8 of them are cinched down. Give it a good slap and say that thing ain't going nowhere. Now you can proceed. Now next up is really like a few different options of this thing, sort of your choice. I'm personally going to do the power supply now, because before it gets too crowded with the graphics card or the CPU cooler, because we have an AIO, I'm going to want to get my cables routed. So, first things first, cooler. Now let's stand this thing up. Let's zoom out a little bit. Alright. Now, your power supply is not going to be the same on every case. But in this case, no pun intended, slots in on the back. There's going to be a location right here. Are you delivering this to me tomorrow? How could I possibly deliver this to you tomorrow? Where are you going to be tomorrow? At the supermarket or New Jersey? These are those front panel connectors I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, for those unaware. And then while I do the power supply, I can also get the hard drive out of the way, because this is that hard drive sled I was mentioning earlier. So let's do that. New store. Oh. I mean, I'm working, so if you have time to stop by Woodside, I can bring it with me to work, but I don't get out of work until 4, and then driving to Manhattan at 4 in the afternoon is not really, you know, conducive to getting out of there before 7. But we have a 4 terabyte Seagate Seahawk power supply. Yeah, or Skyhawk, sorry. How do these sleds work? Oh, they're completely toolless. That's awesome. All right, so there's some pegs. I don't know how easy I'm going to be able to demonstrate this on stream. Is there a way for you guys to see it at an angle? Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it right there in the light. Right here, that little knob and you see there, that's a peg. There's 4 of them that align with the 4 screw holes that would normally be on the side of a hard drive. So you just slot this in, align the 4 pegs with the 4 holes, and call it a day. There we are. All 4 pegs are in. Hard drive can go right there. Cool. Now let's get that power supply fitted. So to go with our white Corsair case, we have a white Corsair power supply. If it wasn't obvious before, and it's still not obvious, I don't know what to tell you, but it's a white themed PC. As much as we can is white. Or as much as we could get is white for the family friend in this case. Oh, I gotta move my webcam back down while I'm sitting. There we go. Now I'm visible. Looks like my mic in my way. Alright. I have so much trash generating in my room. Stupid paper cut. Come on. Now you want to give me it. There we go. Alright. Thick boy power cord. I don't think we need any more screws. Because I believe the power supply... Yeah, power supply comes with its own screws. So we genuinely need no screws. At this point, this is a virtually toolless build. Let's put everything back in its original baggie and try to clean up as we go, because God knows I am going to be tired as hell to clean up after. Yeah, because the AIO is going to come with its own fan screws. The PC side panels already have their screws attached. And the hard drive is a toolless installation, so yeah, I have nothing to worry about. Can put all these screws away. Keep these cable straps out because those are convenient. They're Velcro. They're quick and easy. Then I'll leave like a zip tie or 2 out and put the rest away. Motherboard's in the case, so we're also no longer going to need this anti-static bag. And for anyone just tuning in, I'm just briefly trying to do a quick cleanup midway through the build, as boxes and trash are accumulating on the floor, as you can see right there. Alright. And then we can bring out this beautiful white power supply. Set that down there. Power supply screws there. And then we have this mountain of PSU cables that we will be using some. Alright. Alright. Now is the part where I yeet this thing back down to earth. Try and give you guys a better angle. Give me 1 second while I move the camera. Alright, cool. Now, something that I recommend for anyone, plug your power supply cables in now. It is going to suck to do it after. Take off this little warning label off the back that basically says that your fan doesn't always work, because sometimes it has silent operation mode, which is fine. Now, what do we have here for the GPU? We have an RTX 3090, but we might need a custom power adapter if this doesn't already come with one. Let's see here. Do we have a 12-pin PCIe already in the bag? 24-pin, cool. CPU, cool. It does not appear, from what I can see here, that we have a predisposed 12-pin power connector for Nvidia GPU. So hopefully we have the power adapter. Joel, are you still here? Because, we don't have a way of plugging this thing in. You didn't give me the power adapter with it. The 12-pin adapter here. So I have no way of, plugging in the graphics card to power. Oh, okay. So long as you know. Alright, cool. No problem. So I'll just do the rest. I'll put the power supply in place, and then all that's missing is the power cord. No, because I don't own any... I don't have money for these graphics cards. So I've never needed one. All of the graphics cards I've ever had are just regular PCIe plugs. Okay, that's fine. This build may be a little bit unsatisfying to the unsubstantiated, but if I recall correctly, the 7800X 3D has built-in graphics. So we could still load up the OS and everything associated. Alright, power supply. I'm gonna check. I believe so, but I don't know for a fact. I believe yes, because the newer Ryzen processors come with integrated graphics. The question is, do the 3D models do that? Because I don't know if the 3D Vcache makes any changes to the onboard video. So now I'm gonna plug in as much as I can. Alright, so right now, got motherboard power. Now, we're gonna do motherboard and PCIe power. This is not the one I need. Need this. Does this have two motherboard power? I believe it does. Yeah, we have two 8-pin motherboard power, so I'll get the second cable for that. Alright. We have all the cables we need. Now let's just plug them all in, and then we'll slot them into the back of the case. Anyways. A lot going on with this PC. At least with this motherboard anyways. It's very interesting. Alright. For anyone just tuning in, Ryzen 7 7800X 3D build with a Nvidia RTX 3090 Founders, which I'm also not going to be able to fully power tonight, but it's here. We've got Gigabyte X870 Aorus Pro, Aorus Elite Wi-Fi 7 Ice, fully white theme build for the customer, client, family friend, and 2 terabytes of NVMe storage, 4 terabytes of spinning platter storage. Right now, just fitting all the power supply cables before we get this computer in, simply because it is going to be a pain in the ass to plug in these dainty little wires once the power supply is in the case. Again, good tip for anyone just doing this for the first time. In a minute. Okay, so these are all type 5. That should still work. I hope. Let's see. Alright, I believe this should work in here now. Does this key in here? Okay, excellent. It does. Alright, they're basically all the same damn thing, so I think we're good. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap over one of the PCIEs with one of the motherboard CPU powers because I don't actually know what the routing is on all these ports. But yeah, I think we're good. Everything's plugged in, safe and sound. And now we need SATA power. Yes, we do have a spinning platter drive in the system, just to give some extra storage, since spinning platters are so cheap compared to solid state storage. Alright. Last cable going in. And now this whole thing can feed in. Wait. Oh. Oh, Corsair thought of that. Slots in like this, the cables are on the side. I didn't have to... Okay. Well, good to know. I have never used one of these power supplies before, but that is a cool new way of doing things. Thanks, Corsair. Huh. Alright. That's new. That's very convenient. Shout out to Corsair for that. I don't know if they were the first, but that's not something I've ever seen before. The side-mounted interface. I'm not complaining. But, if you have one of these side-mounted interfaces... Am I dropping frames? My bitrate is off. No. I'm not dropping any frames. Why is Twitch saying that I have poor bitrate when it's consistent at 6K? Oh, there's an ad in progress. Sorry for those of you who aren't subbed. Alright. I shouldn't apologize. Sub to the stream. Ah. Drop the screw. Similar to the motherboard standoffs. The fuck just happened? Whoopsie. There we go. Similar to the motherboard standoff screws, power supply screws are a type of screw I recommend waiting to cinch down all the way. Get them loose and then run them through because you're going to have a bit of wiggle room on your power supply. I dropped another one. Because my screwdriver is not magnetic. Get yourself a magnetic screwdriver, kids. Alright, so take it slow, put them all in loosely, and cinch them down when they're all together. Alright. Power supply in. Now we can pre-route some wires. Once you've gotten some experience and understand basic positioning of PSU cables, you can kind of just do this at your own volition. So this is a little bit of prep. For those of you who aren't familiar with PC building, essentially you have a bunch of wires. So a big thing is, as you can imagine, wire management. And making sure things look nice and tidy, not making too much of a mess, and trying to put things in positions where they're beneficial to you as the builder and as to the end user. So PCIe would go into this lower section because that's where the graphics card is. 24 pin goes in the upper section because that's where the motherboard power connector is. And then we have CPU power, which okay, I accidentally connected 3 PCIe, which I did not need to do. I need 2. Let me take this one and get it a body. Lord. Corsair put these all so tightly together. There we go. Alright. One less cable. So, 2 PCIe. The twins can go in here. Though they will not be used tonight because I do not have a 12-pin power connector provided with the graphics card. But that's okay. Maybe I'll put up like a 20-minute update stream tomorrow where I plug that in. Have you guys see the full effect. We have CPU power, 2 of them in this case. You're not always gonna have 2 of them, but this motherboard is just a little bit special. Those feet up top. Let's see what else is going on here. Put those 2 down there. Down there. And then the last thing is SATA power, which we only needed 1, but they don't make a single slotted one. For the hard drive. Nope, it's this way. Yeah, it's this way. There we go. Alright. Now again, this is just a little bit of cable management, a little bit of preparation for the final build. It'll make your life easier if you start prepping your cable runs now. Because if you don't, later on you're going to be pissed when things are not going the way you want them to go. Here we have a connector for our case fan. We'll probably have this connected through the NZXT stuff. And I think we're good otherwise. Yeah. For now we're good. Just gonna tuck things up so nothing's cinched. And then we can plug things in on the other side. Let me just get some of our front panel through now. So that again, I'm not fishing for it after. Have USB 3. HD audio right there. That goes over here. For those of you who are wondering, again, you can just keep turning the case over, especially if you have more space than I do. Or if you built as many PCs as I have, which at this point is, I don't know. It's not 100. I haven't lived that long, but it's probably close to 50 at this point. Yeah. Get that all done. So now we'll cinch this up later, make it nice and tidy. For now, the main point is just getting the cables out of the way, so when I flip over the PC, we're not crimping any. So let's tuck in our 24 pin so that we can make some space for our SATA. And then with that space made for our SATA plug, we can tuck in our PCIe. And with PCIe tucked along the way, we can call that job's a good one. We'll see if we need these. That'll be at the end. Let's make some space. Let's see, is everything very quickly ran properly? CPU optional, CPU fan. Is there a USB 3.0 on the bottom? There is. USB-C right there. Okay, yeah, we're good. Let's get on with it. Alright, let's keep it going. Go to overhead. So now we can start plugging stuff in, right? We have 2 CPU power right here. These days, motherboard manufacturers and just PC manufacturers in general have standardized most of these items. You don't really have to sweat it. Just follow the notches. See these tabs? they go into a notch at the top. Just feed them in, and they're keyed. If it's not going in, it's not correct. Please save yourself the headache. Don't force anything. It doesn't go in easily. It's not meant to go in. PC building is pretty simple these days. Two in there. We'll clean that up in a sec. Let's get mains power as well. Okay. Next up, we have USB Type-C. Now, this is omnidirectional. Slot that in. Now we go back to keyed connectors, one of which is going to be your USB 3.0. Let's get these PCIe cables out of there. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to use these tonight, but the thing. Oh. Actually, the USB 3 is a side mount, so let me get that out of there. Feed that in there. And again, if anyone has familiar with the Sony A7 II, it's a really nice camera, but I can't for the life of me get like image quality be better than this. I don't know if it's a lighting or if it's an output quality thing, because I don't deal with this camera enough to know. But yeah, let me know if you know. Anyone in the comments when I upload this to YouTube, or anyone currently in the Twitch stream chat now. I need more familiarity with the cameras I have set up. Oh. Huh. Okay. There's no way for me to show this on stream, but one of the pins in the USB 3.0 were bent. So let me get some pliers or something. Let's see if I can fix that. Pull up here straight now. Let's try it. Luckily, I had a little pick next to me the whole time. Please be careful with your USB 3s. They are delicate. Very easy to bend pins, and in our case, a pin was pre-bent. So, thanks, Gigabyte. Slide up these up. Tuck that in there. Wish that was a right angle cable. And we can get our little Q connector and our SATA connector. Where is the Q connector? There it is. Alright, so Gigabyte likes to make a little adapter connector. Asus used to call this a Q connector. Of course, Gigabyte is going to call it the G connector. Go figure. Get the damn bag open. You don't have to use this. You can plug the front panel connector straight, but this just... Wait, what? Wait, how does this work? Huh. So the fingers hold... Oh! Okay. Now I get it. Alright. A little bit different to the Q connector from Asus. Asus's Q connector has the pins pre-routed into here, but I guess to make this cheaper, these fingers, they'll actually hold the cables that you need. And that's it. They're just held in place physically, and then you just push them in. There, and they just snap into place. Okay, fair enough. No idea what CI means, but sure. Then we have power LED plus and minus. Plus, there we go. That is an interesting way to do things. Gigabyte is, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, this power LED connector kind of sucks. Yeah, that's not really gonna work for the power LEDs because they're individual. But whatever, Gigabyte, whatever you want to do. I might just end up bouncing on this idea. Thought it'd be cool to use since I never really use these, but Asus's implementation is so much better. Yeah, because why would you... Oh. Never mind, they have a 2-pin power LED as well. Then why do you have 2 of those? Okay. Sorry, guys. Learning something new here. Alright, for the 2-pin ones, they do actually have a 2-pin. So they have a 2-pin and a 3-pin power LED. Don't know why. I've never seen a 3-pin power LED before, but I guess that's Gigabyte for you. So again, just slotting these in. They click into place. Nothing too spectacular here. Alright. Now this whole block just goes into this thing. And which orientation is it? It's like this. Yeah. And now your entire front panel is connected in one fell swoop, minus your HD audio, which goes over here in this corner in the far. To you guys, this upper corner, but from a default orientation, it's lower right or lower left. Sorry. All right, where's the pin missing for this? Ah, I see it. All right. Don't confuse your HD audio with USB 2.0. They look similar. They're not the same. Again, it's not going in. Don't force it. Next up, we can do the CPU fans. Or AIO, I guess, in this case. Then we can do the GPU last. So let me switch over to my over shoulder. There we go. Then we can first up, gotta remove that backing plate adapter. Actually, some AIOs still use that, so let me check the box. NZXT AIO, I showed it at the beginning, but it's a Kraken 240 RGB. Got a little adapter box, got associated cables for SATA power, USB connection, got the RGB fans themselves, and lastly the AIO. Cool. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to take out this fan right here. 4 screws. Alright, so in this case we have a 240mm AIO, right? 240? Yes, 240. So we have two 120mm fans, 120 times 2, 240. Go figure. And then I'm going to put these in a push configuration so we can get the LEDs out the front. There's no real right or wrong way to do this. It's really just personal preference. I think that considering the AIO, the pump itself, has a little screen here. And we have RGB LED, RAM sticks. The splash of color on the front of the case will do a lot for the presence. And then for the visual cues on the inside through the glass panel, you have those two. So get out your RGB fans, right? There's 2 of them. Just lay that there on the heatsink. Get out our accessories kit here. So this has all the screws you'll need. Right now I'm just going to get AIO mounting screws to the chassis of the, well, to the chassis, to the case. There we go. So with your AIOs, there's going to be a set of long screws and a set of short screws. When you're going through a fan, long screws. When you're having a radiator go directly to case, short screws. And then always use a washer. Alright. Now I'm putting these off to the side here because they're a little bit easier to control on my desk here. A little bit easier to see as well against the light blue desk pad that I have. Now you're going to need 8 of these, 4 screw holes per fan. So 4 times 2, 8. Since we have 2 fans. So I'm just going to get 8 screws ready with 8 washers. So see here, screw and a washer. Yeah. Just going to collect 8 of those really quickly. The screws and the washers come separated because, again, the AIO companies aren't going to assume whether or not you're using short or long screws. So depending on your situation and your needs, they give you both. They give you the washers separately, and then you put them together depending on what you need to do. Alright, that is 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we can start sending some screws through these fans. Now, trying to think. Where do I want the air to go? There's no end tank on the bottom. Yeah, so we're gonna have the tank at the top. There are different ways to orient your tank depending on what you want, depending on how you want your water to flow, depending on how you feel about cavitation. You want air to go to the highest point, so the highest point being the inlet tank at the top. Doesn't really bother me. So yeah. There's a Jay's 2 cents video that goes into way better depth than I just did that I recommend everyone go watch if you're interested, but also looks the best to have the I believe it is the best option for water flow, but it also does look the best to just have the pipes at the top. So radiator goes there, or depending on where you're from, radiator. And then cables. Best way to route these cables. They have slots at the back, so let me move my screws over. Take off these little twist ties. How's everyone's night going? I didn't get to chat too much this stream because this is actually kind of informative when you're building something as not difficult, but just like tedious and complex as a PC. But it's been going pretty swell so far. Had a good dinner, watched some Ted Lasso. If you haven't watched Ted Lasso, please watch Ted Lasso. Great show. Yeah. My cat and my girlfriend are asleep behind me, and just been a chill night. Shout out to everyone who stuck by on this long-winded night, especially if you're working in the morning like I am. Guess who gotta be up at 6 a.m. for his day job? This guy. I really hope that this audio actually is royalty free, because there have been a few times where I put royalty free music on from YouTube and it is not royalty free. But that's besides the point. Let's get back to my life, shall we? What was I talking about? Last thing I was talking about was my car, but that was way at the beginning of the stream before anyone was here. Big brake kit over the past year. The new suspension, bushing B4s all around with H&R lowering springs. Getting new sway bars soon. I'm gonna go to the track in April. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channels, please do. I will be posting track content once I go out there. I'll be posting build content as I get a chance to edit the footage. I've recorded all the work I've been doing on my car in the past year. It's just been not having the time to edit, really. Alright, so we're gonna feed these cables through. I guess this one will be the top, so I'll have it feed through. We'll do it like... Sure, that works. Yeah, that works. So, for those of you who haven't built with an NZXT RGB IO before, there's two connectors on these fans. One is for the RGB controller, one is for just the fan motor to spin it. So this is going to look like a bit of a mess before it gets better. But trust me, it'll look great in the end. I'll do my cable management setup. It'll be fine. Just a little bit of getting used to when you have such blinged out fans. Same thing with the second one. Now you want to run these now, because once the IO is in the way, obviously you're going to have a much harder time. So, let's do that. Put these two fans together and let's get some screws through, alright? For those of you just joining me, by the way, thanks to anyone still watching the stream. Ryzen 7 7800X3D, we're going to have an RTX 3090 putting in a Kraken 240 RGB AIO right now. Now I'm going to start these screws in just by hand, because I want to make sure that everything is lined up, everything is properly in its holes before we really start to cinch stuff down. You don't want to strip these threads. There's not a lot of threads in these radiators, and good luck trying to repair threads once you strip them on one of these. The metal's really thin. Sometimes these tabs even bend. You really don't want to mess around. So finger tight for now. We'll get to the screwing down later. Oh, whoops. I got the screw in the hole, but not in the slot in the case. Let's raise that a little bit. So again, just trying to line up the whole... Oh, ads start in 50 seconds. For anyone who's not subbed, please sub if you can afford it. If not, you will have ads coming your way. Sorry, just part of the affiliate program on Twitch. But you're not going to be missing much. Just some screws, just some cables. So let's get all the screws in. Starting in 15 seconds. Again, I'm just screwing in the AIO, so, you know, not the worst time for an ad break. I'll get more into my car and my life shortly after. Been a little while, you know. Need to catch everybody up. Now, all of my screw holes are lined up by hand, like I was saying before. Now we can cinch them up. Now, while this isn't too important on something as sort of, you know, rudimentary as a fan housing, I like to screw these in at a cross pattern, so opposing corners. Reason being, like I was saying before, the tabs on the radiator are really thin. You don't want to strip out those threads. Just do yourself a favor, take it slow. We're not rushing here, you know, happy little trees on some Bob Ross shit. Take your time. Cinch down your screws evenly. Please don't destroy your radiator. Make your life easier. My cat has joined the chat, as you can see in the background. That ain't going nowhere. Now that that's done, you want to refer to the manual of your AIO. In my case, I gotta take this bracket off, and then there's an AM4 bracket that came in the box. So, I'm gonna look through the accessories box. Which one says AM4 here? So this one says AM4, AM5. Since we are using an AMD AM5 slotted motherboard, I can switch to my overhead to show you this a little bit better. Yeah. Focus, please. Alright, whatever. Use the sleeve side according to your AMD socket to prevent CPU damage. So, AM5, AM4, there's a slight different size in the collars. So you have the bracket associated for the AIO itself that will attach to the backing plate that comes stock on the motherboard. And then you have the pegs and screws that go along with it. Now these pegs and screws, they're oriented in a particular way in which one side of the threads is longer. Refer to your manual. I've done these before, so I mean, I'm still gonna double check just to be safe, but I've done these enough to know that the longer side goes out because it needs to go through this tall little collar here, but I'm gonna double check the manual right now. Alright. Correct RGB manual. Now if we go to AM5, installing the pump. Step 1. Okay. Alright, cool. Step 2. Oh. And this is why you refer to your manual. The longer side actually goes down into the backing plate, which you can see right here. It's kind of hard to tell, but basically the longer thread side, at least from this picture, appears to be going into the standoff collars, not out of them. So I was corrected, and that's why we double check the manual. Don't forget about this collar situation though. AM5, the ribs on the collar go up. And we don't need the rest of these accessories. So let's get these out. Thank you again to anyone tuning in. We are an hour and 20 minutes in, so thanks. All right, for AM5. Oh, forgot to take the backing plate thing off. All right, so stock AM4 motherboards, they have a backing plate. Don't forget, take these screws out. There's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. My autofocus is gonna go crazy here with my hand in the way, so I apologize. But it's probably the best way for you guys to get a view here. And I'm gonna keep saying this as viewers keep popping in and out. If you are familiar with the Sony A7 II, right? Yeah, A7 II. I would love to know why the quality kind of looks so shit. I don't know if it's a color thing or what, but my like 15-year-old Nikon D7100 has way better camera quality, which is my over-shoulder camera, which is weird. I don't know why it does that. And I would really like for my Sony to look better than it does, but I am not sure exactly what I can do for that output resolution. But for now, I think... Oh, they mean to do that. I can do this. Yeah, why not? I'm just pulling the collars up over the little edges of the pegs, and then we can put these little guys in. All right, that's one peg. Now we just do that 4 more times. Now I'm doing the bottom 2 first, simply because once you release these 2 top screws, if you were to do them all at the same time, back plate would just fall through. You'd have to hold it. This way you don't have to hold anything. Way more convenient. Alright, so rinse and repeat on the top. And now your backing plate will hold itself. But yeah. Now that ad breaks are done, let's get back to my life. Sorry, I was focusing on my car, but really I've just been generally trying to improve aspects of my life. Eating better, going to therapy more. I've been really liking pomegranate juice. If you haven't had pomegranate juice, I recommend it. It's not for everybody. My girlfriend doesn't like it, but she just has bad taste buds. Don't tell her I said that. She may or may not be watching or asleep right now, so you know, I'll find out in a little bit. Take it off. But yeah, drink some pomegranate juice. Has probiotics and stuff. Activia yogurt probiotic dailies, similar thing, delicious. I'm trying to think what else. Vitamin water, though I just recently ditched vitamin water because unfortunately they are owned by Coca-Cola, who is a very contributing factor, contributed money towards Israel in the Palestinian conflict, which, if you're not aware, or if you're on Israel's side, please stop watching my stream. But yeah, it's atrocious what's being done to those poor people in their homeland. So yeah, it's fuck Coca-Cola, it's fuck vitamin water, and any subsidiaries associated. Forgot about this guy because we don't normally encounter these too much anymore, but for those of you who haven't been watching, and again, people on YouTube are probably going to get sick of me doing these references, but my viewer count keeps going up and down, so I'm not sure who's new and who isn't. You do have differing hard drive styles in this, so we have an NVMe SSD and we also have a platter spinning drive, which requires the SATA connector. Alright. Cool. Now we have to get the correct plate here. And we attach this to the AIO. Alright, we're gonna do this like that. So for this, spin, pull out. Now, depending on your orientation, you're gonna put this plate differently. Is this plate ambidextrous? Let's see. Or is it one way? Okay. This is ambidextrous, so do like this. Go over here. Oh, it spins that way, so like this. There we go. Alright. And then we need to cinch that down with the nuts that came in the screw kit, which is over here. There they are. So we're gonna get 4 nuts in the kit. They just cinch down onto the little standoffs you put on just now. Oh, also, just to tack onto the whole Coca-Cola thing. Not only do they contribute to Israel and the Palestine conflict, they've also, from what I recall in recent news, had their employees deported. And that is a big no-no in my book, as a Hispanic son of immigrants. Very principled on the fact that if people are just trying to work, trying to make a living, and what was supposed to be the land of the free, a land built by immigrants, because of course, besides the true Native Americans, white people are not native to this land. Yeah, that shit's insane to me. So it's fuck Coca-Cola on 2 fronts on that one. Alright. So, like a lot of the other things that I've been telling you guys, please make sure that you are putting these things in a crisscross pattern. This one does not want to thread in nicely, so I'm pulling it out. But putting in them in opposing corners will help out a lot. Okay, these threads are just a little bit unhappy with me, but we can get them in. Cool. Alright, cool. That looks good. Now we need to get the cables for this. Can I route the cables? Yeah, this is gonna have to stay like that. Does the GPU have a... We'll figure out in a second. I hope the GPU just doesn't have a fan here that'll collide. Hopefully it can just rest here, and then it can just loop. Otherwise, I may have to like zip tie it up here somewhere out of the way. We'll figure that out when we get to it. For now, let that sit. Let's get the cables for it so that I don't forget that, and then we can be all hunky-dory. So we have a controller box here. Connect to the NZXT Hue software, or actually, what is the app called nowadays? I don't know if it's still called the Hue app, but there's an NZXT app that does all your fan control and stuff. And they have this like Velcro stuff, so you can just tape this anywhere. And let's see, the connector's on the side of the pump. It's just one large connector. And then we have this fan relay connector. What's this? This is USB 2.0. And then the pump connector is in here. So just this goes into your pump. I'm not in to buying my viewers. Thank you very much. Get the fuck up out of here. I'd rather have no viewers than fake viewers. Alright, once that connector's in, we can send it through to the back. The hell is... Oh, this is a USB 2.0 splitter. Shout out to MZXT for that. If your motherboard doesn't come with enough USB 2.0 headers, they give you a convenient little splitter. I don't think I will need that in this case, but that is mildly nice of them. Now we're going to send these cables up. So I'm going to stand up the PC, put you guys on the side view. Lord. I misspoke earlier when I said we only need the SATA power for the hard drive. I forgot about this thing needing SATA power along with the USB 2.0 connector. And in this case, two USB 2.0 connectors, actually. Or headers. Not technically connectors. Oh, let me pull this down. That's it. That is all the cables for the AIO pump fed through. Now I'm just gonna pull them tight so it looks nice. Alright, cool. Looks great. Nice. That look better? Yeah, much better. Pretty good. Now we can get the rest of our fans ran. These are our fan connectors. Like I was saying earlier, one is for RGB, one is for fan power. I'll show you the differences in a second. Here we have the just straight up fan connectors. These little, oh, that's an RGB connector. Whoopsie. This is a fan connector. So notice these little 4 pins. There's notch here on this side, as you can see that raised edge. And we have a little 3-way splitter here it plugs into. so I applied our little Velcro straps where they want you to. I'm going to plug in the wires first and then figure out what's the best spot for this to go. Now this just handles RGB, just so that you guys are aware. This is not a fan controller as well. So now we have this 4-pin RGB connector with this movable tab. Let's see what's the best way to demonstrate this. Yeah, the tab moves up and down. Plug that into here. Done. Now let's figure out what's the best place for this. I guess right here could work. Yeah, that works. Perfect. All right, now to get the adhesive backing off. All right, the installation. Still completely accessible. That's what you want. Now let's plug in some cables, shall we? Don't forget, plug in your SATA power before anything else. That's this right here. So let's get that on. SATA power is plugged in. All of the cables associated are plugged in. Now, let's do the graphics card. Nice and gentle. This thing is heavy as hell now. And the GPU is not even in it yet. Alright, so let's get these USB 2.0 connectors plugged in. My bad. Didn't mean to hit that. Get some water. I'm parched. Fuck me, I love cold water. No, everything's good. We're just missing the graphics card now. So let's get that going. Gonna remove these two bracket covers here. Actually, I need to check which two are the ones I need. These are 3090, so we actually need 3, but let's see which 3 line up. Whoops. Okay. So I'm gonna slot this part. The next 3. So second, third, and fourth. Not first, second, third. And that's why we check everybody. Shit, this is a 2 hour stream now. Well, almost an hour 42. Alright, so this stream is going to end with us posting. For those who don't know, post, power on, self-test. Just an acronym that stands for what the PC does when it first turns on. And it does have a fan on the back. Oh. Okay, USB-C is a little close, but we should be good. Easy enough. It's the last two. Okay. God, I wish the screwdriver was magnetic. Ad break starting soon. For those of you unsubscribed, subscribe. And those of you on YouTube, please consider subscribing if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Keyboard builds, PC builds, just working with my hands is what I like to do. No. Alright, that's going to be an issue, but not for right now. Alright, everything is hooked up except for GPU power, which I'm going to double check, but I don't believe I have an adapter for this. Oh my god. Corsair. Corsair, yes! Fuck you, Nvidia. God, I love Corsair. Alright, we can actually power everything up tonight. Nice. Corsair actually does include a 12-pin power adapter. And we're good. Wrong way. Fuck yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. I did not think we were going to get to do this. That's awesome. Yeah. That's fucking cinema, alright. Okay. This is why you're thorough and double check shit, by the way. Because I was really about to plug into CPU graphics to get everything situated. But here we are. Done pretty much. Once I can plug this damn thing in. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't lean a computer case against the edge of a desk. My thigh is under it, so it's holding it up. You guys have probably noticed it tilting slightly. We're good, we're good. Alright. You need a flat order? What do you want? The what? The remote? Oh, the remote order. Oh. Now for some final cable management. Thanks for anyone just tuning in. We're pretty much wrapped up with the build here, just filing up cable management, then we can do our post test. Or we can watch the PC post. I do not have time tonight to sit through the stream of setting up Windows and downloading applications, but if that's something you guys are interested in viewing, please let me know. And thanks to anyone who have been sticking around or are just tuning in. Again, we are pretty much done with the build. I'm doing final cable management. Don't you have work at 6 a.m.? Yes, I do. Ashley Speaks Fan 0909. What's up, King? I do have work at 6 a.m. That username will always get me. But love you. Hope you're doing well. This is a build for a family friend of Joey's. This is a baller ass build, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I cannot afford this thing. RTX 3090, Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, 2 terabytes of NVMe storage, the whole 9 yards. Get some twist ties. I'm gonna try to use twist ties here for the sake of, will he use it though, is the real question. To be honest, I don't know. Basically, it's the son of a friend of his. So hopefully, because this baller gaming PC deserves to be used, but I honestly have no idea. Yo, this on like VR Assetto Corsa, the game would look so beautiful. What are you doing, Awake Pops? Don't you... Are you guys are back from, I believe it was Baltimore? Yes? I believe? Don't kill me if I'm wrong, I love you. Just finished gymming. Oh yeah, nice. Why does it suck? Please do. I've heard Washington DC is cool, but can also be ghetto depending on where you are. Oh, I have to send you pictures. I got new wheels. Remind me. Oh my god, why does this smell like cigarettes everywhere? That's fucking gross. I deal with that enough on Roosevelt, the cigarette smoke, dude. Literally every contractor in the area, even ones that aren't doing the MTA job that I'm on, all of them are just outside smoking cigarettes every day. Like, the cancer aside, that shit stinks. Like, I don't understand. No, yeah, I would be alarmed. To say the least. Okay. Alright. Cable management. Not beautiful, but functional. Let's put this side panel on. This is a Corsair 4000D Airflow. I'll show it off a little bit better in a second. I'm just getting all the panels on. Yes, it's a full-size ATX. Well, mid-tower, but yeah. Oh my god, this shit is so heavy now. Holy fuck. Oh. Alright, so we have the fan filter. Move the camera down a little bit. Okay. And this is the final product. Jesus Christ. Can I get some lighting? Where's my phone? Yeah, mid-tower case. Full ATX motherboard. We have an X870 Aorus Elite Wi-Fi Ice. The Ice edition meaning the white one. NZXT Kraken 240. Corsair 64, well actually 128 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs per 2 sticks, and we have 2 kits. RTX 3090 Founders Edition, the radiator at the front with the 2 RGB fans, and a Corsair RM850x. Yeah, 128 gigs of RAM, dude. This thing is a fucking tank. Like, honestly, it's way overkill for a gaming PC, but when you got the money, you got the money. So let's plug this bitch in. How can I demonstrate this to you guys? Alright, I have an idea. I'm gonna put it on my side monitor, and then that's running the simulation. Yeah, this is a supercomputer. But let's let me unplug my secondary monitor and get this going. We've already plugged in our SATA power, so I can remove that. Awesome. Stream should still be going. I haven't broken anything. That is correct. Alright. Time to plug stuff in. We have main power, and then we just need an HDMI port. For tonight's stream, I mean, Noel, I'll text you after. You know, it'll be different for you, obviously, because you're a normal viewer. But for anyone watching at home, anyone watching on the YouTube channel later on when I upload this, I'm just putting this to post. It's 12:36 a.m. where I live. I gotta wake up in 5.5 hours for work, so I'm not gonna have time to do a full Windows install. I'll do that tomorrow. And if you guys are interested, I'll stream it. If not, I won't. Trying to not wake up my girlfriend. I just dropped my phone. Alright, let me get the video cable. Got a DisplayPort cable. hear my cat snoring. It's actually funny as hell. Yes, this is gonna be a mess. This is just a test. Like, this is my PC, so this is just to make sure it works. We're plugged into power. Let's see that I did it right. 3, 2, 1. Let there be light, baby. She looks nice. Alright, now will she post? In my experience, AMD Ryzen chips on the first try take forever to post. So we're just gonna sit here for a few minutes. Actually, I'm gonna start cleaning up for a few minutes. Y'all chill some lo-fi while this boots up. Thank you to everyone, especially friends and family who've stuck around. I love you guys, and the streaming stuff isn't necessarily paying my bills, but I wouldn't be where I am in life or even in streaming if it weren't for you guys sticking around. So the love means a lot. Oh, we got codes. Are we gonna get a visual? Something's happening. Computer just rebooted. Oh, my boot's in. Let's see. How are we doing? Still got a bunch of postcodes moving around. This motherboard's one of those fancy ones with like numerical codes on the side. So bear with me while this boots up. It's probably gonna be a little while. The last time I built one of these, it took like 10 minutes. I shut it off and restarted it a few times. I was panicking, and then eventually I saw a Reddit thread where somebody was just like, I just kind of left it on and eventually it worked. And unfortunately that just works for some reason. I can't tell you why. Oh, it got past RAM. Is it gonna do it again? It got to RAM, then to VGA, and then it reset itself. So let's see what it does again. This is interesting. Well, I've had this issue with posting before. I've never had it cycle itself. So, GPU's in, power's plugged in. I wonder what's going on. Okay, it's still not posting. I'm still gonna give it more time because that's what I did previously in work. Um, I'm praying for the best at this point because sometimes it cycles to VGA, sometimes it does nothing. But if it's cycling to VGA, that means the DRAM's fine and it's getting through that. Because for those of you who knows postcodes, you go CPU, RAM, VGA, then boot. It's getting stuck on DRAM right now with the code 15. Previously, whenever you'd see the RTX logo light up, it was getting past that code 15, meaning past DRAM into VGA. So the RAM's fine, the motherboard's fine. I guess they're just taking a while to get acclimated to one another, which is really annoying, but it's not the first time this has happened. Oh, it just cycled again. Yep, there you go. And that's a boot. Right on cue. Wait, are we booting? Yep. Wait, postcode 99, that should mean boot. I think. Hey! Hey! Told you. I fucking hate AMD. I hate that that's a thing, but we're good. PC done, everybody. I am sweating. That was a lot of work. But the computer is beautiful. I'm gonna do some work with Windows installation, RGB and stuff. Again, if you guys want to see that, let me know. But for now, I'm just gonna shut down the stream and continue cleaning. I love each and every one of you that's tuned in. Shout out to my brother for gifting so many subs. You didn't have to do that, and you've always been one of my biggest supporters. Shout out to my girlfriend for being here this entire time, and anyone else who's tuned in. Noel, I love you as well. I hope you have a good night. I'm gonna text you some more But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate anyone who tunes in on YouTube. Have a good night. Oh, fuck, I don't even have my mouse in my hand. That's a little awkward. Later.